welcome to the Science Fantasy Experience and to a look at what I've got lately. Pickups, unboxings, first thoughts about it, probably open one up, definitely open up the boxes, and then kind of how I got to this point and everything about it. So, about 2 weeks ago, I went to my local kind of independent toy shop, not with any pre-planning, just went there, wanted to have a look. If there was anything that I was desperate for, then I would have got it. It's good to be able to go back to toy shops now that everything's just fully open and we can enjoy just being surrounded by toys. I'd really forgotten how incredible it was just to go to the toy shop and then to have an independent so close to me. And then when I got there, there was one left on the prong, and I had to get it, and it's kickstarted this whole, not rabbit hole yet, but it's set me on my way, which I knew was going to happen at some point, but I grabbed the last one, and it is G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes. Finally, after all this time, when they revealed the G.I. Joe Classified line and they said they were going to do a 6-inch range for G.I. Joe, I was thrilled. I was absolutely ecstatic. Then I saw the artwork and I saw Duke, Scarlet and Roadblock, and I was just like, man, I don't really kind of like the look that they are going for with those particular characters. But I never really actually had much interest in those characters as a kid, and to be honest, I didn't with Snake Eyes. I've only in the past 2 years kind of become more interested in Snake Eyes for sure. Watching the cartoon again and reading back some of the pivotal comics with Snake Eyes in it, incredible. And then seeing what his original version 2 figure looked like, I was just like, it looks absolutely spot on. And obviously because he's in a mask, there's no face. I'm just not that keen on some of the artistic choices for some of the figures. But I reckon with this line, I'm gonna cherry pick and pick the ones that I want. But this was the one that I wanted. And I would have got it last year if, in hindsight, I would have known that it was just gonna go out of stock and not be restocked for like almost a year. There was no way I was paying ridiculous secondary prices on eBay or sellers. I just hoped that one day it would get restocked. I kind of knew it would, I just didn't think it would take this long. But yeah, I had to grab the last one. I'm still unsure about this artwork and some of the design choices. I'm not that keen on that, but the figure looks ridiculously good. I purposely have not watched, well, until the day after I got this, I've not been watching any reviews of any classified figures. I didn't want to be swayed. I didn't want to have like any kind of, not preconceptions. I wanted to do all my own. And I feel bad for not supporting my friends and channels that I subscribe to, but I just wanted to keep it to myself. And that's for various reasons, that being that I have such fond memories of G.I. Joe and Action Force as a kid, growing up through, you know, watching the cartoon. I got given a load of comics from the older boy from a couple of doors down from my nanny and granddad's. So that all kind of all tied into it. And I've collected G.I. Joe on and off throughout the years. So yeah, just wanted to keep it to myself. But because I'd started watching reviews, I watched a review of Destro. So 3 days later, after watching the review, I went back to the toy store and I picked up a Destro. They have absolutely nailed Destro for me. This is what he looks like on the screen. Kind of when it comes to collecting these, I kind of want to get as close to the Sunbow animation with a little mix of the comics. I much prefer this artwork. I found out that it's not one artist that's doing the front artwork, and I love that now. I love that each character is going to have a different artist doing their boxes. Not that I'm going to keep the boxes. Again, I'm still not warming to this at all. But yeah, 1 or 2 reviews in of watching Destro, I literally, as soon as my next day off, I came and I knew that they had quite a few in stock, so I was always going to be able to get it. But I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait at all. So yeah, definitely going to open up one of these in a moment, but we'll unbox the other 2. I know what they are, but I don't know which is in which one, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's crack open the first. So, oh, that's sweet. Dear Postie, please handle with care. Thank you. That's a lovely touch. I didn't know that this company did stuff like that. So, we are diving straight in. I forget how much fun unboxings can be, especially if you've kind of waited a few days and you kind of just got yourself in your zone. You've got the camera on. You've just purposely waited to capture reactions on the screen. Is this a thing? Is this what companies do? I've never used this Stocklist before. So, awesome. So this is the one that I am most excited about. I've mentioned it before in other videos that when I was a kid, I barely had villains. I only had like one villain when it comes to G.I. Joe, and that was Zartan. So here we have the Cobra Infantry. As I told you, I've dived right in, digging this artwork. He looks sinister, as you know, they're always thought of as like these lackeys, sometimes akin to, you know, stormtroopers. You know, not the greatest, not the brightest sparks, but they have kind of changed that mentality, and they just look dark, and they look like terrorists, all completely decked up, sinister eyes, a whole slew of weapons. I can see like ruffles on the legs, super detailed. I love figures with loads of pockets and places to store weapons. So yeah, it looks like you get two handguns, a rifle, a knife. I think from watching other reviewers that there's this big 50-50 split with the weapons, Some like the more sci-fi element to it, and others would prefer some more realistic looking weaponry. I'm all in for the sci-fi look. It feels more toy. It feels more kind of futuristic, and I guess that's kind of what the cartoon was about, was, you know, interesting weapons that kind of, you know, not exactly true to life. Yeah, he looks incredible. I reckon I'll open this one on camera. Or do I do snake eyes? It's it's a tough call. Anyway, final box, and this one created havoc when some retailers maybe broke the release time, and all hell broke loose on the internet because they sold out in like 15 minutes on various suppliers. I think they were meant to do it on 6 p.m, which is when I went on to this retailer to get mine. I had no issues at all. I literally just at 6 o'clock put it in my basket and I was there. But I know that a couple of people ended up getting quite a few, so nobody kind of lost out. But yeah, it was fun. It was exciting to be in the throes of getting something that felt like it was going to be limited. Not so much now, but it is the Cobra Island stuff, and they are limited, but we've learnt from mistakes now. So we have got Major Blood. Not a character I was interested in as a kid at all. Much like, you know, Destro and the Cobra Trooper, I just didn't have villains as a kid. Destro frightened the hell out of me as a kid anyway, and then I thought Major Blood was terrifying as a kid. He was just really sinister, you know, he's got an eye patch, robotic arm, and he was just, they were full-on hardcore villains. Offset by Cobra Commander, who is a fool, but his subordinates, they are rich in character. And what I love with Major Blood, and what has in some ways swayed me much more to this line, is he doesn't exactly look like Sunbow, but he's got elements there, and they've kind of done it sympathetically, or they've kind of taken the best bits out of Major Blood and updated it. But for someone like myself, I'm really in tune with it. Some, as I said, I'm just not interested in. I think they've taken it a little too far. The likes of, as I said, Roblox, Duke, Scarlet, they haven't nailed the aesthetic that I want. But for Major Blood, for sure, this is a great version of him. All villains. I've basically got one good guy and 3 villains now. I dig it. I absolutely love it. It's such a change from my childhood, where all I wanted was good guys, to finally embrace being surrounded by baddies. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, just got to choose which one to open. But before I kind of crack one open, it's become incredibly poignant, and it's happened at a very, I don't know, it's just fallen into place where I would start really collecting this. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I have really fond memories of G.I. Joe growing up, especially with my dad. My dad he often picked up Action Force figures for me and G.I. Joe. You know, he got the A.W.E striker for me when I was really ill, and I didn't even know what Action Force was, and he came home and built it for me, and subsequently reunited it with me, you know, 20 years later, because I thought I'd donated it. He got me Zartan and the Swamp Skier when we went on holiday down to Devon, because he thought that I could play with it in the rock pools down in Devon. And the memories of G.I. Joe and Action Force with my father are so strong and potent. That's why I say it's poignant, because sadly my dad passed away a few days ago, and it's now this great reminder of those awesome times that my dad and I shared with G.I. Joe and Action Force. Let's crack open Snake Eyes. In we go. I don't know why I'm being so cautious about it. I don't intend to keep the boxes. Hopefully it is not all zip tied in. I made that mistake before with the video, trying to do an unboxing, and no, he has come straight out. The weapons are obviously taped in, aren't they? So here he is out of the package. Oh my god, he's awesome. I absolutely love it. Oh, he's got that little bit of shine to him. It's a mixture of shine and matte. Incredible. So yeah, here we've got his futuristic sci-fi gun. Don't get me wrong, I think he would look good with the Uzi. That's, you know, his signature weapon along with his sword. Oh, the weapons are tough to get in. Probably because I'm putting them in the wrong hand. That one's got a trigger finger. You can tell I have no experience of G.I. Joe Classified. Do you know what? Let's start over. Let's pop in his backpack. So there is a peg hole. And then we'll put his sword in. So yeah, here we have him. I've barely put his sword in correctly, obviously, but I just wanted to kind of have a play around and a feel. But yeah, if this is the standard, I'm super excited to open all of them, and I reckon I'll do reviews for each figure. This looks like he's going to be so poseable. There's wrist swivels, elbow bends. God, the molded detail is so good on his fatigues. The Elite, Snake Eyes Elite with timber and more realistic weapons on the way. that'll be great addition to. He needs timber for sure. Small handgun. Yeah, for sure. He's going to take a little bit of play for sure to manipulate and get the weapons in how I want him. But yeah, as first thoughts go, he's absolutely incredible. Oh hell, let's just open another one. Do you know what? Let's do it in order of when I got them, just because it built up that way. I'm gonna do Destro. Let's open Destro as well, being that, you know, I didn't really plan to get Destro. You know, as I said, he terrified me as a kid. You know, that deep voice, his movable metal face, it just... Basically, I want to see how they've done his head. Yeah, he's ace. Oh, he's wicked. His necklace isn't fixed. There's a bit of movement on there. The head it's not totally chromed. It just looks silver. I was hoping that they didn't do vac metallized plastic. I want that to stay with the retro line. You know, he's got his missiles on his wrist, that signature look from the cartoon. Holster for his gun. The gun is gold, but he's also got a slightly bigger shooter with some red accents. He's got case with a computer and his money. Every arms dealer obviously needs to carry his wares. Again, I'm going to struggle with hands. I'm glad that like the hands are this stiff, and you can get, or not, them on. No cuts. I'm not going to do any cuts. I'm going to try and make this as authentic and real as possible. No, I can't get it in there. Let's try his gun. That gun slid in. So yeah, there's his other gun. As I said, red accents on there. Again, super articulation. He's got really tight joints. Oh, they feel sturdy as hell, you know. Hasbro occasionally has the rep of not the best QC, but these are absolutely spot on. I'm absolutely loving this line for sure. I can't wait to get the other two open and put these in front of the camera. I'm going to have a play around with the articulation, see what poses I can get, and just kind of enjoy them. So the videos might not be for a while, and obviously I need to process events and tie it all into feelings of bereavement and enjoyment at the same time. I've been Rudy Zissou, and this one is for you, Dad.